What's up, everybody? Welcome to another episode of Coding with Jerry. Today in this video, we're going to be, guess it, integrating the Rubberband Library in our Juce project. At the end of this video, we'll have a simple audio player that's going to have features such as a play or pause button, a label to show the audio position, and then of course, the most important thing of this video is a feature, which is going to be two sliders that are going to allow us to adjust the tempo as well as shift the pitch. Let's go ahead and get on into this thing. So, as you guys guessed it, we're going to need to open up the Juce project that we created before. So I'm just going to go here to where it says the Juce Rubberband project. We're going to go ahead and open up the producer file. And then from here, before I get into a lot of coding, I like to basically make sure that everything is running. So, you know, that we can just say, hey, did everything work properly, or was there any issues that we need to address first? So let us go ahead and just hit the save and open in the IED. And here we have the project open inside of Xcode. All right, so what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna hit Shift Command K, which is gonna clean the build folder. And then I'm going to hit Command B, which is going to do a build. Oh, as you can see, we had something that failed here. Let's find out what failed. As you can see, it's talking about something about, oh, I understand. So the code signing stuff. So we'll go to code sign and just select here, the team up under here, just like that. And then it's gonna do its stuff. Now it did its stuff. Let us try again. So Shift Command K, that's gonna clean the build folder again, and then Command B. All right, now we're just gonna wait and we're gonna allow this thing to build, and we'll see if we get any errors. All right, so that built successfully, guys. Now there was no errors. Now, as you guessed it, of course, again, this is a iOS project, which means it's going to run on your iPhone or your iPad. Now, I can tell you, if you try to build this as of now on the Mac for a Mac application, this would have failed. And the reason why is because of the framework that we added. It's going to pop up some error talking about code sign with some exit 0. And you're going to be like, hey, I just selected my team up in the development and it should be code signing. But let me show you how to fix that. What you're going to do is you're going to select your project, and then you're going to select here the target, and then you're going to go to build phases. Now, I'm going to show you two ways actually how to fix this, okay? The first thing that you're going to need to do for Mac, only on Mac, this is only for Mac, okay? The first way to fix this is to go where it says embedded frameworks. Here you can see that we have the Rubberband library, the Rubberband's framework that we created. You see over here we have the code sign and code sign for this file when copied. You see there's a tick in it, and when you untick it, you would say, okay, it's unticked, so now it's going to fix the error. No, it will not fix the error. To fix this error, you're going to need to remove this. So you're going to click on this, and then you're going to hit the minus sign to remove it. Now, this is not deleting the library. It's not deleting the framework, because it's still going to be up under linked binary with libraries. It's still going to be there. Okay, that's the most important thing. Now, the other way that you would probably want to fix this, and the correct way to fix this, is inside of Producer. So, and the reason why I say the correct way is because if you go in Producer, every time you hit the save button, it's going to revert those settings right back. So go over here to where it says Xcode for your exporters, scroll right down here to this line here. You remember in the first tutorial, we added the embedded frameworks and we added this line here. Well, what we're gonna do is we're gonna take that same line and then we're going to put it right up here to where it says extra custom frameworks. That's where we're going to put the line at, okay? And then from there, you're also going to need to define the framework search path. How do you define the framework search path? Right up here, you're gonna paste the exact same thing that you have in the extra custom frameworks. You're gonna put it here as well. Now, if it doesn't work, then you'll just put the location where it's located in Xcode. So you would just say, hey, the project and then the framework. You will put that path here, okay? All right, and then from there you just hit save. All right, so let's go ahead and get into the dirty part. The dirty part is the coding, right? So let's go ahead and get into there. So one of the things that we're going to need is to add 2 files. So up here where it says File Explorer, click that there, and we're needing to add 2 files. Now, one thing that I don't understand, and maybe y'all guys can help me out here, is that if you create files here, like if I was to go here into the IED and I created some files in here, it will not, the files will be inside of Xcode, but when you run it inside of Xcode, it's gonna fail because it cannot find those files. I don't know why. It happens even if, for an example, the File Explorer, if you go here, not File Explorer, but the Finder window, if I was to go here and I added 2 new files, for an example, time pitch here, it will show up inside of Xcode, but when you try to run it, it's gonna fail. It's gonna say it cannot find the files. So I don't know why that is, but maybe it's some type of way how Producer, maybe it's some type of way of how they compile stuff, or maybe some things how it has it configured to find files. I don't know. Maybe y'all can drop something down in the comment section, but just go up here and click on source, okay? And then hit this plus symbol. And I'm sorry for that long explanation, but click the plus symbol and we're gonna create a new CPP and header file. Now you could do these separately, you know, you can do those separately, but make it easy, just click this here. And then we're gonna call this time pitch processor. Is that spelled right? Well, if it's not, it's gonna be spelled right today, okay? All right, so leave the H there, that's fine, hit save. As you can see, now we have these 2 new files here. Now, once we have these 2 new files that are here, we can go inside of our IED and we can do all of the coding there, okay? Now, before we get into the coding, we have to add a few little modules, okay? So click down here to where it says modules. You see we have some. Now, if we go to the documentation here, by the way, this is kind of that player that we're gonna have. We're not gonna have a open button, and but we're gonna have 2 sliders down here that are going to basically allow us to adjust the tempo and the pitch. But what we're gonna do is we're going to come down here and we're going to add all of these modules. Okay, so in Producer, slide this over here like that, and then we're gonna hit this plus symbol, modules, global, and then the first thing that we want to add is the audio basics. Add that in, and then next we want to get the audio device, and then next we're gonna want to get the formats. And then we're also going to want to get, man, I wish there was a way that we could select multiple things at once. Well, I guess you could do it if you was in the beginning of this, creating your application. But yeah, next thing that we need is going to be the processor. Oh, looks like we need to add missing dependencies. That looks like it added quite a few modules. All right, so yep, let's keep going. And utilities, and then we're going to need the Juice core. As you can see, Juice core has already been in here, so we can't select it. So we're going to also need this here, and we're going to need the structure. Structure's already there. Events is already here. The graphics is there. GUI basics is there. We already have the GUI extras. Looks like we need OpenGL, and we need video. I don't know why we need video for this, but anyways, we'll select it. All right, so now that's done. So what we're going to do from here is simply hit save. And when we hit save, as you can see, we shrink this down because I have file OCD. But as you can see, we have all of our files. So these are our files here. They're here. And now we can get to coding. Okay. So I have some boilerplate code that I'm going to use, and I'll walk you through it line by line. So first thing that we're going to do is we need to copy all of this here into our, I'm going to copy all this here into our header. Now our header, guys, is pretty much all the header is a blueprint of what your C++, your implementation file is going to be. It's pretty much everything as far as like your methods, your functions, maybe a few different predefined things. It's just a blueprint, okay? So yeah, pretty much here we have a few methods, and so, you know, explaining it here, well, we'll explain it in the implementation, but here you can see the blueprint of everything that we're going to have. I promise you that I will I will put all of this example inside of the GitHub repository. Okay, so let's just go over to our implementation. Okay, and I'm gonna copy a few things over just to kind of speed this up a little bit, so this tutorial is not too long, and I just walk you through things step by step. Okay, so and then we'll do this here, boom, and let's do it like that. All right. So the first thing that we want to do is create our first method, which is the prepare method. So we have our prepare method. Now inside of our prepare method, guys, pretty much all this is going to do is basically set up, it's going to initiate our Rubberband stretcher and provide all the options that it needs. So in doing so here, what we're going to do is we're going to have a we're going to preset up some variables here. So, you know, we're going to have our sample rate in our channels. And then we're going to also need to create a temporary buffer. So we're going to need a temporary buffer as well as a output buffer. So here you can see that we have our temporary buffer and our output buffer. And after we have that there, we're going to want to set up our Rubberband stretcher. And we can set that Rubberband stretcher up with this block of code here. So this is setting up our Rubberband stretcher. So pretty much the options that we're, this is, I believe they call it the constructor. And pretty much all this is doing is basically saying, hey, we're using the real-time processor. Now this elastic, I believe that's called elastic is how it's pronounced. But the elastic, all it's doing is it's making it where the it makes the speed changes flexible. Is think of it that way there. I guess maybe kind of, when you go to change it, instead of it like glitching out, pausing for a second, it will just kind of keep it smooth. I think that's what that feature does. But yeah, so that's that there. And then we're using the engine. They have two engines. They have a fast engine, and then they have the finer engine. Here we're wanting the finer engines because we want that high quality sound. So you're gonna go with the finer option, of course. For our pitch, when we shift our pitch, we want the high quality on the pitch. And then lastly, we have this window long, and basically that just gives us smoother sounding results. Okay. The next thing, now we have created our constructor. But the next thing that we want to do is we want to initiate here we want to initiate, I guess, our initial pitch. So we can do that simply with this line here. And yeah, so this is basically kind of setting up our default pitch in a way. And we want to also initialize the time ratio. This is tempo. Now, I don't know why they didn't call this tempo instead of time ratio. To me, tempo just makes more sense. I guess because I'm a musician, I think of it as tempo and not timing, but it's what it is. All right, so now here's something very important. If you don't want your vocals sounding like chipmunks, or the Mickey Mouse effect, you're going to want to initialize or to preserve the sound during pitch shift, and you're gonna set the format option, and we're gonna set it to preserve. We're gonna set it to preserve the tone, and so these are the options for that there. That's going to reserve the tone. Okay. From there, we're going to set up our method, and this method is basically going to take care of this method here. Oops, sorry, needs to be out here. All right, so this method here, what it's going to do is we're going to have this is our function. So when you go to shift the pitch slider, it's going to run this function. It's all it's doing is it's adjusting the tempo. It does it in semitones, so it's going to adjust not the tempo, it's going to adjust the pitch. So this is our function that we use to adjust the pitch. Now, we also need another method, which is to adjust the tempo, right? So this is how we adjust the tempo. We're basically just saying current tempo ratio. If the stretcher, then we're basically saying set time ratio. Don't know why they don't call this tempo, but we're going to set the time ratio, and we're pretty much just saying, hey, current tempo. That's what it is. Okay. All right. Now we have set our tempo, and now we're gonna have, I remember telling you guys, we're gonna have the little check box that will allow you to either enable or disable the formality. Hope I'm saying that right, because if I'm not, I know y'all guys are probably like laughing at me. So
format.
I know y'all guys are probably picking. Yeah. So format is what it's called. So we have that little box that is going to allow you to either enable or disable the format. It's going to allow you to basically have your voice to sound like its natural self. But yeah, this is pretty much all we're needing to do. So after that, most important part here, and I think this part is really what tripped me up the longest. Here, this is our process block. Basically, what this is going to do, it's going to take and it's going to process. This is like the Rubberband's way of getting its information, the chunks of audio. So Rubberband takes chunks of audio, which is our audio buffer, and it processes it. So that's what this whole method does. So kind of jumping in here, you can see that we're creating a input buffer. We're making sure that it has enough for samples. Then we have this while loop, and this while loop is basically what we're doing is we keep running this loop over until we have created enough samples. What's weird is, I guess we're wanting to make sure that the available samples match the original sample count, and as long as it does, then it will give us our next audio block. Why is this important? Is because if you don't check to make sure that you have enough of samples, you're gonna get that distortion sound whenever you go to adjust the pitch or the tempo. So it will just sound like a bunch of static. So we got to make sure that we have enough of samples. Okay, now the thing about this file here, the reason why I created this file in this way is because I wanted to make sure that this code here is pretty much modular, meaning that, hey, if I ever need to call any of these methods from anywhere, I can, and I don't have to rewrite the code. Okay, so yeah, this is pretty much all we need here for our time pitch processor. All right, so let's go ahead and implement this stuff. So here is our default view, and what we're going to do is come here. I'm just copy some boilerplate code over. Remember when I told you guys that your header file is pretty much all it is. All it is your blueprint. Now, most of the stuff that you see here, we got it from this tutorial. So you have your enum here. Pretty much all of this stuff, guys, this is all the code. Let's see. Yeah, well, this is not all the code that goes into the header file, but the majority of the code that's here is going to be the code that we're going to be using inside of our implementation. So here you can see our blueprint. Basically, you see that we're going to have a prepare to play method. We got our get next audio block method, release resource. We got our resize, and then we got our timer callback. Okay, here's our enum. Here's some more methods here, and basically I just really grouped my methods in a way, and of course these are private methods here, but I just pretty much just grouped everything here to keep it as organized as possible. So here we're going to have a text button. That button is going to allow us to have our play and our stop button, right? Our label for showing the position of where we are in the audio clip, and a bunch of other stuff, yada yada yada. So let's go ahead and get into the implementation of this. So let's clear all of this out here. Boom. And I don't know, maybe what I do is I'm just going to paste all of this boilerplate code in for y'all guys. I know that y'all wanted to see maybe me typing this stuff, but I just really want to get you through this tutorial. So I'll explain it to you. As you can see here, we have our play button, and this is pretty much, again, if you come here, you can see this is pretty much beta for beta. You know, we're just basically copying all of this right into our own stuff. So we have our stop button, our playback position. This is something that we added here. This is basically where our position is going to start, and then here is, you know, where we send Juce the notification, and it does its things to kind of show you the newest position. Okay, here is our slider. This is our slider for shifting the pitch. It looks like we can shift up 12 semitones as well as down 12 semitones. And then of course down here is the slider, and all of these is just UI, setting up the UI, but all of this is our slider stuff. As you can see, we created something, well, not created, we are doing a invert right here, because the funny thing about Juce is for tempo, or what they call, I believe, the time ratio, the higher the value is, it slows the audio clip down. So the lower the value is, like going into the negative numbers, it speeds it up. So we're inverting this here so that, you know, when we slide the shifter to the right, it's going to speed it up, and then when we slide it to the left, it's going to slow it down. And then here you can see we're calling this method here, the time, the tempo ratio, the method that we created in this file here. So we're basically just calling upon these methods is what we're calling upon, and I'm actually looking for it. Yeah, right here. So we're just calling this method, and we're just shooting the value straight in. We're doing the same thing for the pitch. We inverted the number here, and then we're doing the same thing for, you know, getting the tempo right. Now, here is the format. I think I said it right that time, but we have created a state. So we have a state, whether it's going to be true or false, and then pretty much, you know, that's going to show in a checkbox, and we're just pretty much running that method of enabling or disabling it. Okay, now our audio setup. Now here, let's take this out for now. Our audio setup, I'm just doing this just to, yeah, clean some stuff up. Here's our audio setup. Basically, what we're doing here is we're just giving, we're telling Juce, hey, I want you to play an audio, and this is where I want you to play the audio from. Now, what we're going to do is, I mentioned that we're going to be playing audio directly from the system. And to do so, what we're going to do is, let me just clear all this out right here. And I think it's, if I'm not mistaken, how do we do that? Let me find the documentation on that right quick, because we want to play using the direct path is how we're going to do it. So let me find this in the documentation for a second. Sorry. All right, so maybe I should have. So it's saying, documentation is just saying do Juce file and then audio file. That's what it's saying. And then from here, we can just pick the direct path. So our direct path, our absolute path for us, and just bear with me, we'll clean this mess up in 1 second. Boom, boom. So mine's is user, and the computer name is, and then it's gonna be downloads, and then we have a file in here. See, downloads, sample audio MP3. See if that cleans all errors. Yeah, so that cleared all errors. So basically what this is doing, it's going to play the audio clip that I have in my downloads folder. Now, the reason why I am doing it this way is because, again, I'm not doing we're not doing the thing that you would do to open the file up from a file opener or file chooser. We're actually having a audio clip that we just have on our system. Now, you would need to do something different here, where if you got audio files that are going to be bundled inside of your Xcode project, you may do something, you have to do whatever is required for you here. But this is what's required for our project. Okay, so here we're just making sure that we have an audio file, and if there's an audio file, we're enabling the play button to be pressed. If we don't find an audio file, it's not going to allow us to press the button. Okay, and moving down here, prepare to play. Basically, when the player starts, we're initiating the Rubberband library here, and we're saying, hey, we're going to feed it the sample rate, and if I'm not mistaken, I think this may be channels. So yeah, so that's all we're doing, is we're just calling this method whenever the player starts and this method is called upon. We're basically initializing the Rubberband process. Moving on down here, our next audio block. So like I explained to you, Juce, it plays things in audio blocks. So it plays one audio block, then it plays another audio block, and it plays another audio block. So when it does that, all we're doing is calling our method right here. Is all we're calling our method, and we're just saying, hey, feed it the buffer. And in its process, it's going to create that temporary buffer. It's going to fill that temporary buffer until it has enough samples, and then after it does it, it's going to process the audio, and then it's going to feed it back to the audio engine. And let us go back and look at that. So we're down here is where we're processing everything, and then down here is where we feed everything back to the engine. Yeah, so, and y'all guys can go back and you can look at actually how this thing is structured. This at this point, this video is really becoming more of a code that I already have available, that y'all guys are just pretty much just looking over to see how it works. Okay, other than that, the rest of the stuff down here, as you can see, pretty much is covering the window size of the application. Here I added this here, and the reason why I added this here is because on iOS devices they have those things called safe areas, and without this here in effect, what we'll do is I'm gonna comment this so that you can see what it looks like. But there's safe areas, so it's gonna push everything up to the top, and this right here is literally pushing it down some. You guys will probably want to do something a little bit nicer, but that's just what we have there. The rest of this stuff down here is our switches. This basically, again, is copied. Really, all we did is copy this stuff right in. It's gonna just control the state. Can I press a play button, a pause button, a stop button? That's all it's basically doing. So that's pretty much everything. So let's go ahead and hit this thing. So we're gonna hit play. Oh, something failed. So let's catch what failed here. Signing. Okay. So what that is, that's not this rubber. I remember I did tell y'all guys that if this right here is here, it will crash, it will fail, but that's only for Mac applications, not for iOS. What this is talking about is I need to just do my regular code signing. So yeah, so we're gonna do that there, and now I should be able to hit play and it should work. Like it's building. Y'all like the music in the background? Okay. Let's cancel this. I don't want to do it on my iPhone. Let's do it from the simulator. Sorry about that. Okay, so built successfully, and it should be starting the simulator soon. There it goes. All right, so there we go. Now, as you can see, y'all remember I was telling you about, you know, these are the safe areas on the phone, and everything is pushed up to the top. You don't, you know, that doesn't look good. So, you know, y'all guys would just go and we're just adding this here, and it's all this gonna do is just shift it down a little bit. You would probably want to do something much nicer than this. But now on Mac, you don't have to do that. Everything, you know, there's no safe areas on Mac. So you'll be fine on Mac. But all right, so as you can see, here we go. Everything is looking better now. Now, our play button is grayed out, so it did not find the audio file. And let's see here. So make sure that I have this right. What we're going to do is tell you what, let's open up our terminal. We're gonna make this easy, okay? So I know y'all guys are probably like, man, this dude is like, why is he doing all this crazy stuff? Boom. And this is gonna give me my exact location of that file. Just copy that over, close that out. All right, let's paste this in here like so. Yeah, I mean, this looks almost the same. Yeah, so we are not finding our audio file. So just bear with me and let's just work through this thing together. Let me get to my documentation so that we can see here of how to fix this. Sorry. the thing about, when you're doing a live video, you run across these issues, then you have to fix them live, right? So at least that's one, I guess we could say that's one beauty out of this here, is that we're working through this together. So Juice, I don't know, maybe if somebody is in the comment section, maybe you can comment to me of what I've done wrong, and that can maybe speed us up some. So and I declare this looks like it's right. Looks like it's right. Let's try this again. Y'all stick with me. We're gonna get this. We're gonna get it right. Okay. Let's make sure I have the file in the right spot. So I have it in my downloads, and it's called Simple Audio MP3. So this is correct. User, boom, downloads, simple audio. So that's correct. We're not loading it from the bundle, so this is just, let's just say this, because we're not doing it from the bundle. And from the reader, format manager, create read from audio file. Let's try something right quick. Let's try to do a clean and a build and see if that change anything, because I really don't see nothing wrong. I don't see anything wrong at all. Okay, let's try it now. Oh. Okay, maybe let me check some of my methods here, just to make sure, because this is all looks, to me, it looks right. Okay, that's correct. There. Play. Right, that's correct. So only other thing that it could be is only other thing that it could be that I can think of is down here with our cases. Gotta be something with the state. And this is all right. Anybody got anything to say? Maybe you can help me with this part by chance. Let's try this here. We got another folder called music. I believe there's a file. Let's see if it finds this one. If not, then yeah, it's not finding anything. I'm looking at the documentation, and the documentation shows I have this right. what I'm gonna do in a minute, if this doesn't, yeah, there we go. Let me do this here. This actually works now. So, this actually works. I'm just doing this so that I can see the difference. So, Juice file, audio file, and users. Guys, look at this. I don't know, maybe this was a bug or something with Xcode, but you see, all of this stuff it looks, well, something is different. This works. All that's lining up. Downloads, sample, audio, MP3. Oh, I see what it is. Yeah. Here's the problem, guys. See this little space right there? All right, okay. Now, I was like, man, I knew this had to be, it was right, but yeah, just a little small space. All right, so now, everything looks good and we can hit play. So let me stop my music here. All right, so let us play this here.
We just integrated Rubberband Library with Juice. We can pitch shift up and down and change the tempo, and the great thing about it is our vocals don't sound like chipmunks or Mickey Mouse.
So you see, I'm able to speed it up. I can slow it down, right? I can also adjust the tempo, right? Now, those vocals, it works, right? Y'all like that song, by the way? That is a song that I created using Sono, the AI music generator. I hope y'all like that song. But it sounds like Chickmuts when we, shifted the tone. But we're gonna enable this feature down here, and we're gonna test to see what it sounds like. Okay, so let's play again.
We just integrated Rubberband Library with Juice. We can pitch shift up and down and change the tempo, and the great thing about it is our vocals don't sound like chipmunks or Mickey Mouse.
So let's do it again.
We just integrated Rubberband Library with Juice. We can
Man, that sounds extremely good.
up and down and change the tempo, and the great thing about it is our vocals don't sound like chipmunks or Mickey Mouse.
All right, one more time.
We just integrated Rubberband Library with Juce. We can pitch shift up and down and change the tempo, and the great thing about it is our vocals don't sound like chipmunks or Mickey Mouse.
Guys, we did it. We integrated, as you can see, we integrated the Rubberband Library in our Juice project. I want to make sure that y'all can hear this, because I'd be sad if you wasn't. Yeah, the sound is definitely coming. I had to check to make sure the sound was coming through, because I'd be like, man, what if y'all guys didn't hear this? But because I'm not getting any responses right now, but this sounds good. This is really good. We're able to adjust the tempo. We're able to adjust the pitch, and we can preserve let's say the format. The tone is what it should have been called. Preserve the tone of the voice.
We just integrated Rubberband Library with Juice. We can pitch shift up and down and change the tempo. And the great thing about it is our vocals don't sound like chipmunks or Mickey Mouse.
All right, so guys, as you can see, this is all working, and I hope that this has helped you. If so, please hit the like button, hit the subscribe button, and anytime we drop something new, you will get it. So again, this video tutorial is to integrate the Rubberband library in a Juce project. Now you can do the same thing. You can do the exact same thing if you were to if you was to do this inside of an Xcode project. It would be the same thing. You would just simply take and utilize the same code. Only difference is you would just need to use, for Apple, you would just use the, I think they call it the AV audio engine or something like that, or AV Foundations, one of them. You just use Apple's audio engine, same code base. But doing this in Juce means that you're going to be able to run this on Android, you're going to be able to run it on iOS, you're going to be able to run it on Windows, Linux, Mac, and you don't need to rewrite no code at all over. Everything is basically same. Well, in my case here, because I had a file that I selected, you're going to have to take and select the path for that. But I'll leave that up to y'all guys. Other than that, again, we're out. Hope that you enjoyed this. And again, please, if you found this video helpful, hit that like button. Lets me know that this was helpful to you. And hit the subscribe button if you want to keep up with newer content that we post up. Until that time, see you later.